I win! I win the impression of Edge from the Lion King face-off. You coughed, and I laughed. I win. What do I win? What is my prize?
Sugar frosted foot from the end of my dick.
Wow! I'm turning this mic off now. I want this. I want this for the rest of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, and whatever else crept in.
Amphibian men?
Yeah, oh, the lizards who are running everything.
The lizard men.
Welcome to another episode of Blang Blang Blang.
Okay.
Oh, sorry,
Okay.
no. Hashtag Blang Blang Blang.
Okay.
I am everything you ever dreamed of.
I am the existential dread that Logan Paul feels before he falls asleep every night, knowing that he's doomed himself to this life forever.
Then you're like the Santa Claus, because that's not real, my friend. That's not real. He feels nothing.
Are you sure?
He's a sociopath.
Sure?
He feels nothing.
He's in a trap of his own making.
Have you seen what he's done?
He's done himself to this.
Sorry to dip into bloody, like, pop culture shite, but have you seen what he's done since he came back to vlogging?
Yes. I mean, I've not seen it. As in, I've not sat and watched the videos.
You've made
but
the
I'm aware
smart
of what he's
decision and
done.
watched commentary channels talking about it because it's easier to stomach and you're also not giving him any money.
And also, that's like a lot of the content that they're making at the moment because
It's fascinating. I mean,
Zeitgeist.
oh look, bragging about like this, that, and the other, la la, and immediately go back to the old attitude. And oh, one of my koi's in my pond isn't doing well, so I'm going to get it out and give it CPR. I'm going to tase some rats because I clearly have no empathy for dead things at all.
I'm dying inside right now.
This man, this boy, he keeps calling himself a boy. It's like, you're not a boy.
You act like a boy.
H3H3 did a thing on it, but it's part of their podcast where they sort of like talk about that, where he says like, this man, this boy, and they're like, why does he keep saying boy? Like, you're a man, accept responsibilities. But then they realise he's not saying boy to shirk away any responsibilities. He's doing it for ego. He's having the narration in that video call him boy, because then you'll be like, wow, he's only a boy, and look at how much money he's making, and like, do you know what I mean? It's all ego stroking. Speaking of ego stroking, money. Makes the world
Money,
go
please.
round. The waveform for that is beautiful.
Yeah, it's mesmerising, isn't it?
In a way,
It's like a work of art.
it's like watching a heartbeat.
I want to get it printed out and mounted like you can do with your favourite songs. You can get the waveforms printed out and mounted like that. So fucking like, oh, you're gonna look at that and go, sounds like Bohemian Rhapsody. It's like, no, it fucking does. It's a fucking waveform. A pleasing to listen to song does not a pleasing to look at waveform make.
I can understand printing lyrics, for example.
Yeah, but waveforms.
If a song speaks to you,
it's just a bit too wanky for me.
yeah.
A little bit too much like.
I mean, unless you turn it into a pattern of some kind.
I really like this song, so I got the waveform printed for my study.
Oh, God. Well, if you turn it into a pattern, like if it was a border around the room or something like that, and then people are like, oh, that's cool, you'd be like, yeah, it's also my favourite song. Oh, that's a cool little detail. But if it was just, I printed out and framed the waveform, I'm a little wrong or not?
It's like having... It's like wallpaper in your bedroom with the film of your favourite movie.
Or the
like,
actual film.
Just the film
yeah,
strips.
Ooh.
It's just like... Ew.
Oh, it depends on the film, though, I suppose.
Well, no, because you won't be able to fucking see it, will you?
Yeah, but you feel it.
Because it'll be tiny little frames.
Feel it.
Tiny little frames.
Like Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, you feel it.
I really like Citizen Kane, so I mounted the 70mm print on my wall.
Put Carry On Emmanuel on the wall.
Oh dear.
So whenever I'm feeling that existential dread and I'm leaning up against it, I can stare at naked women and go, okay.
Okay, this is
kind of hot.
This isn't pornography.
It's kind of hot. Oh god, that Sid James ruins it all.
What,
should we go and sexually harass a woman, Sid?
I wonder if... Fucking hell, we've not even got to the podcast yet.
We don't need to.
Yeah, there's no news this week, so we're just doing a bit of preamble.
Let's just talk about Sid James.
I wonder...
He was good in Hancock's Half Hour.
I wonder if he were a younger man and hadn't died as long ago as he did,
Yeah.
whether he'd be one of the people that people are coming out against now.
Not
Do you think he was
necessarily-
a sexual harasser? Because he looks like a sex pest.
That's
And
his-
I know he plays a sex
That's
pest.
his character, yeah, but at the same time...
But was he an actual sex pest?
I don't think anyone on the Carry On sets had time for anything sinister or untoward because how little money they were being paid.
Well,
I
not
imagine
necessarily on the Carry On set,
Oh,
but,
no,
you
but
know.
you know how little they were paid for those movies? Like, they were paid pittance.
He was
for
just
those
paid in
films.
cigarettes.
He was-
Dirty magazines.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there wouldn't be time to sexually harass people in between things because they'd all be like running to the supermarket at the last minute of the day
Don't you be
to buy reduced food.
Don't you be
so
a
they
Sid
could
James
actually
apologist.
live that week. Sid James apologist.
I've already decided on his guilt.
You've predetermined his guilt.
Yeah.
Sidney James, you are accused of being a dirty bastard.
I feel like a lot of those accusations have kind of settled down now.
Ooh, well, in terms of modern Hollywood,
Yeah.
I think it's just a case.
I feel like
of...
most of that's kind of out in the open now.
Yeah, well, it could be that a lot of it has been settled more quietly, like.
No, not in terms of like, everything's better now, but I feel like we've had less allegations coming out recently.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely opened up people to feel a lot more like courageous and reassure that they're not alone in this, and they can actually kind of confront people for stuff. But I imagine a lot of cases like that be more like they sit down with the person and say, "Look, I feel like you mistreated me here," and you know, confront them face on. And the ones that we saw were more the witch hunt of, there is a trail of tears and trauma behind these people, and we need to talk about it. So maybe that's why it's quieted down. Like the big, like, you know what I mean? The people with awards worth of affected people are the ones who were put on blast.
Apart from Roman Polanski and Woody Allen, who still remain
Working.
miraculously untouched by this whole thing. Like,
It's mental, isn't it?
it's crazy.
Mental. Oh, depressing. Well, speaking of depressing,
Hey!
I can't think of a depressing story because I'm great truth. Let's talk about a good one instead, shall we? Toy Fair's on at the minute.
Oh!
Toy
Are
Fair
you
is
making
on.
me talk about toys?
I'm freaking making you talk about toys, son.
I don't want to talk about toys.
I don't
No one's
think
interested in my toy
Well,
talking.
There was the London Toy Fair and like UK merch shows happened earlier in the month, I believe.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Doctor Who, guess what? Fuck all's coming out.
Fuck all!
So there you go.
Because Worldwide can't get its act together and actually, get...
I mean, there wasn't even like an announcement of like, yes, we are going to be doing a wave of toys to accompany the new series. There wasn't even that. Do you know what I mean? Which is
Not that I've
depressing.
seen.
But Big Chief at least were like, yeah, we've got nothing new to announce, but you know those things that we told you were coming? Well, here's one you've not seen in the flesh yet. Here's the third Doctor. There it is. Looks pretty good. And Captain Jack, War Doctor, reissues, Clara and Rose, they're actually getting delivered soon. So, rejoice, Doctor Who Big Chief collectors, for your lack of money due to buying these toys means that you're at least going to get the toys at some point. And then you can melt them down and eat them. It was a replacement for food. Yes. But Toy Fair's going on in New York right now. Lots of very cool stuff. Have you seen Hasbro's Infinity Gauntlet?
Yeah!
Oh my god, it's
That's fucking
amazing!
awesome.
And its features basically is it lights up, makes sounds, and it's basically a puppeteered arm. Like you have grasps inside, because there's two versions.
Sure,
There's the foam fist, which has been made a lot of times, but they're now like releasing it to Walmart and things like that.
Yeah.
But then this other one is a big movie style, like metallic looking thing, and inside you pull your fingers and thumbs in, and it moves the fingers and the thumbs of the Infinity Gauntlet. It's like that is very cool, very cool. Very cool.
Very cool.
Oh, clap for Marvel, clap for the logo, clap for Marvel. So, yeah. But, NECA. Oh my god, NECA are the boys that I follow when it comes to sort of toy stuff really now. I'm not one for buying 1 million Predators. I've got 3 Predators from NECA. Like, they're nearly...
You're gonna army build Predators.
Have you not seen the collections people have? Have you not seen the collections people have?
People will collect anything.
It's not. They're approaching the 100th Predator design that they've done, and they're going to make it. I think it's called the Gold Angel.
Sure.
Because they're all based on comic books and the arcade games and things like that.
Well, yeah, they redid like modern, updated, high end versions of the Kenner Predator figures.
Oh yeah, they announced it.
They're really good.
They announced the Scorpion and the Snake at Toy Fair.
Oh, the Aliens ones are really good.
The Alien figures are pretty great.
Their Mantis Alien remake was fucking ace.
I know, that was the only one of those I had when I was a kid, and I sold it
I had
years ago.
nearly a full set, and I sold them when I moved back up.
Yeah, I sold mine a couple of years ago. And he had pen on him, but he went for like 20 quid.
I had all the
Mental.
Marines. I had the Power Loader. I had the Hover Tread. I had all the aliens. I think
All the aliens.
I had at least one. I had all the alien molds. I think there might have been a couple.
That's
of
because you left him in that box for too long.
Yay! I think there might have been a couple of recolors that I didn't have.
Mm.
And I had. Again, I had all the Predator molds, but I think I didn't have all the recolors.
In case you hadn't noticed already, we're pretty freaking dirty, sweaty nerds.
I even had the Predator Blade Fighter
Like this hover bike thing.
The hover bike thing with the whole claw on the front that just shot off.
They remade that. NECA remade that last year.
Oh.
Because of course they did.
Yes, they did.
In packaging based on the original packaging.
Yes, they did.
Oh god, is that the Marvel Legends? Oh, whip them out. Yeah, so Marvel Legends are doing an anniversary wave.
The first 10 years.
First 10 years. So some are more recent characters, some are older characters. Let's have a look. I want to see them in their glory.
Well, there's first off, there's a Killmonger and an Everett K. Ross from Black Panther.
As a 2-pack.
I don't know if they're a 2-pack. There is.
Oh, they totally will be, because it's an unmasked Killmonger, so they'll release him with the mask on, like as the wave. Surely, I want him in his denim jacket with his fluffy collar.
Astonishing Ant-Man and Stinger comics versions 2-pack.
They are beautiful.
Shrink and Strike Ant-Man, who can literally fire a smaller version of himself out of his own chest.
Because of course he can.
The
Wasp.
There's a Marvel Legends Ant-Man and the Wasp Ant-Man. Marvel Legends Ant-Man and the Wasp.
God, they're
because
pretty.
Of course
shows that anniversary wave. I want to jerk off looking at it.
Tony Stark and Iron Man Mark 1 2-pack.
That is amazing. What's the likeness like on Downey Jr.?
Pretty
good. That's pretty good. Ronan. Oh, see, I got one of the few Marvel Legends waves I've actually collected in recent years is the Guardians wave from 2014. I will buy Ronan immediately.
Looks like a nice Ronan figure as well.
I will buy him so quick.
Age of Ultron, Hulkbuster and Hulk 2-pack, that's going to be fucking massive.
That's going to cost
usually that Hulkbuster would be a builder figure, surely.
Well, this might be the builder figure re-released, because that looks like the Age of Ultron Hulk figure.
Iron Man Max 7.
Is that Avengers? Yeah, the silver thighs.
Iron Man 3.
Oh, wow!
Extremist Pepper Potts and Trevor Slattery / the Mandarin.
I want that now. That's amazing. What's the the War Machine Hot Rod? Oh, it's like an alternate paint scheme.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What's the Paltrow likeness like? That's pretty good.
That's
and the Ben Kingsley likeness is pretty good. Wow. Okay.
But, it looks weird with the leg sculptor's leggings though. Because it just looks like she's got. It is just paint on the legs, but
yeah.
Civil War, Captain America and Crossbones 2-pack.
That'll be nice because I've got Civil War Captain America, but it is beaten up end fight kind of design, so it'd be cool to have that.
House of M Spider-Man.
Not rushing out for that
Scarlet
one.
Spider.
Oh, the Kane version. Maybe.
Doc Ock.
Oh, they've finally got round to him again. The one from 2000 and I think that's 2007. That's going to be hard to beat.
That's a chunkier mold.
He's more old school. Yeah. He's got the old school tendrils. He's got the Frank Cho tendrils from the Marvel Knights film.
New Elektra.
Good, because she had a terrible release. She was the first female character in the Marvel Legends waves from the 2000s, and she was dreadful.
Yeah. All different Daredevil.
Okay.
The modern black costume.
Cloak and Dagger. I bet it's Dagger and Cloak's just like a display stand.
They're available separately. They're two separate figures.
Oh, that's stupid. Just sell them together.
Oh, and SP/DR from Spider-Verse is the builder figure.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a stupid choice, but it looks cool.
It does look cool.
No one's going to be clamouring to get that, but it looks cool.
The biggest Infinity Gauntlet in the world. It's massive on a full-grown man, so give it to a child. Ooh, Venom Marvel Legends wave. We've got a nice Venom with a head.
I think that's a re-release of a recent one. Tooled a bit. Carnage. Again, that just looks like the Spider-Man one, but with a Cletus Cassidy head and a hand accessory.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Poison.
Oh my god, we're getting into obscure symbiote territory, aren't we?
Scream.
Really?
I mean, that's a pretty neat mould. Oh, Peter Porker!
Peter Porker, the Amazing Spider-Ham!
Peter Porker! Oh!
We've got to that point.
Uncanny X-Force Deadpool, 12-inch.
Oh yeah, this would be a... Oh no, it's not NECA. NECA do the quarter scale.
These are the Marvel Legends 12 inches.
Yeah.
Uncanny X-Force Deadpool. Deadpool in boxes.
Oh,
X-Men
it's
Deadpool.
It's just a series of Deadpools then.
Lady Deadpool. Omega Red.
Okay, I sold an Omega Red last year.
Sauron
Sauron, is he the Build-A-Figure? Okay, that's cool.
Oh yeah, boy!
I know. It's no secret that I have a love for pulp stuff and whatnot. Give me an X-Men wave where we get Kazar, Shana the She-Devil, and the Build-A-Figure is Zabu.
Well,
I want a saber-toothed tiger Build-A-Figure.
We're getting some more X-Men legends. We're getting a modern Magneto.
Okay.
Sabretooth.
Old school Sabretooth.
Classic Sabretooth.
That looks good.
That's a really cool face sculpt.
Sorry about this, guys. We're just getting hard. That's a really good thing.
That's an awesome thing.
Why is it taking this long?
Silver Surfer.
Oh, that's not bad. That kind of looks like a retool from the Marvel Legends original.
Maybe.
The board's new.
He's got a new hand.
Yeah, the board's new as well.
Ooh.
Current comic book Thanos.
No, new Thanos. That's
now,
nice.
I think that's based on the Build-A-Figure that they previously released. He was a Build-A-Figure.
He's fucking chunky, innit?
Mm.
He is chunky.
I quite like my Thanos. I've got the Marvel Select Thanos from 2009, 2010. I really like him though. I think he's quite cool. Because again, he's just bulky and stupid looking.
We've got some Solo a Star Wars story figures.
Yeah,
Black
Lando
Series,
looks cool.
Han Solo. Black Series Lando
Kira
looks really sweet.
Kira, whatever name is, the sculpt's
Black
quite
Series
cool.
Kira.
Like a snowy stormtrooper that is nice because it sort of looks like a hybrid between the tank pilots from Rogue One.
I think they're Mud Troopers. I think I've seen them called.
No, that's just what someone reviewed them as.
Hey!
So basically, fam, a lot of toys, but also a lot of Transformers.
Oh, mate.
So many Transformers.
Because the Power of the Primes toy line is underway now, and I've not seen it at UK retail, but it's like the first 2 or 3 waves have been out in US retail now. And they're sweet! And there's really cool new leader class, like, there's like the leader class evolutions figures they're called, where normally you'd have the leader class figures and they're just the massive ones. But the evolutions, the idea is like, there's an Optimus Prime one, but it's, the cab transforms into Orion Pax, which is Optimus before he has the Matrix. And then you combine that with the trailer to make full-on Optimus Prime. And there's an Optimus Prime one where he's a car who transforms into Hot Rod, who's a deluxe class size figure, and then he transforms with his Winnebago trailer from Rodimus Prime's vehicle mode and becomes Rodimus Prime.
You lost me so early on.
I know!
Basically, the options are insane.
Yeah. We've got to look at the, they're bringing back the combining stuff from Combiner Wars. Mm-hmm. So all your deluxe class figures are limbs and all your Voyager class figures are torsos for Combiner figures. Right. We've got
I've got your boy.
You've got Combiner Wars Leader class Starscream.
So what is he? Is he a torso?
He's a Leader class figure from Combiner Wars, so he's just a figure.
Okay.
He's actually a retool
Yeah.
of Leader class Generations Jetfire, who was the first Leader class Generations figure.
Right.
So the first generation figure in that size. But because he's a really cool jet, he was retooled and
turned into
recolored
Starscream.
into the Seekers. So into Starscream and Thundercracker and Skywarp.
Complete with his tiny crown from the movie.
Oh yeah, the Starscream's got the tiny crown. Yeah.
Tiny crown Starscream. Have a little look at it, see if you can get right in.
The Dinobots have all got new Power of the Primes figures, who are also a combiner. They've remade the Terracons, who are a 1987 combiner team. That's like a post-cartoon combiner team. I think they show up very briefly in like the 3rd series of the cartoon or something. We've got a Titan class Predaking. So instead of it being a Voyager torso and deluxe class limbs, it's 5 Voyagers. Similar to what they did with
so many
the Constructicons during Combiner Wars, where it was 6 Voyager class figures to a Devastator. Look, these figures just look really fucking cool, alright?
There's so many of them!
We're getting more female Transformers, we're getting Moonracer and Elita 1, and
do they have boobs?
They're combiners. They don't have boobs. They have feminine curves.
For real? I was sort of joking.
I mean, that's Elita 1.
There's a sleeker design, sort of. Okay, I mean they're just robots.
Although she is actually a retool of Starscream, the Voyager class Starscream.
Okay, I was going
which
to
is
say,
quite an extensive retool.
I think my favourite, I said this before we started recording, I think my favourite thing about these guys is just how colourful they are.
Oh man, the colours are... There, you can see the Voyager class ice cream just behind her.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just...
They're vibrant.
They're such G1. Look at them.
They look like they should be on a toy store shelf in the 80s. Like,
Yeah.
they're just
Which, you know, it works because they are...
from the 80s.
Yeah.
They were born in the 80s.
So
the
many-
80s.
So many of these... Basically, any of these that aren't a new character are a remake of an 80s toy.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from the new Optimus Primal, which is a fan vote winner and is a remake of a late 90s, early 2000s toy.
Mm.
Late 90s toy, in fact.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's even more fucking neon. And look at that motherfucker.
So neon.
Basically, the way you've got an inner Optimus Primal robot who then has the armor for Optimus, which would make him either a bigger robot or a big ape. So they're not doing like the realistic looking ape.
Yeah.
The first Optimus Primal figure did. They're doing the Optimus.
I would like
Right.
that. I think
There
I,
is-
I think I would break the bank if they. I know they did. What are the ones that are like the
If you want to break the
ultimate
bank,
versions?
there is a masterpiece Optimus
That's what
Primal.
they're called. Yeah, I
and
saw
he
him.
is lovely.
Yeah, I got a huge
But-
soft spot for Optimus Primal because Beast Wars was my Saturday morning.
I've got that
It was my
original-
Saturday morning religion.
I think I've
Was I
sold him.
digging it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I've sold him now, but I have got that original. I did have that original Optimus Primal somewhere, and he was complete, and he was in pretty much mint condition. But I don't know where he is now.
You've seen mine, haven't you?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
in that. He's missing his shoulder flaps. So his
I don't know how you
missile,
managed that.
his missiles are always out. I don't either, but when I got him back from my mum's, that's the condition he was in. So his guns are always out, and I think he's missing his mace as well. He doesn't have his mace in his wrist.
Oh yeah.
But apart from that, he's all together. And I've got a Megatron who is missing his, I think, external mask. He had like a black mask that folded around.
Oh
his
yeah,
face.
the early Beast Wars figures all had that. Had like a battle mask.
Yeah.
But they dropped that feature after the first couple of waves.
Yeah,
Like,
Optimus is pointless. It's just this spiky head
Yeah.
Voltron-looking thing.
They got rid of that.
It's
Fucking quick like.
so dumb. But yeah. Oh, so many toys.
So many toys. Look at the colours on that Abominus. He's ridiculous. He's like someone.
Abominus?
Is that-
Nuh-uh. Fabulous.
It's like someone. It's like the paint aisle exploded in fucking B&Q.
The paint aisle got an erection.
Oh, love it.
and it released.
Enough boring people's ears. I'm talking about toys. Let's.
But they're releasing Pennywise and Pennywise.
Oh yeah, those NECA figures look ridiculous.
They look amazing, and they're both coming out in August.
90s Pennywise and 2017 Pennywise.
With several heads.
And an Ultimate Gremlin.
Yeah, based on the first movie. Which is nice because I don't think NECA did that. I've got a stripe from the first movie.
Yeah.
And that was released at the time with a gizmo and a poker playing gremlin. But I don't think they were NECA. I think they might have been Sideshow Collectibles pre-NECA days.
Sideshow Bob's.
NECA did Mohawk in their early Cult Classics waves. He's up there. It's sort of a really basic mould, which was then released as a big statue as well.
Yeah.
But it's like a maquette. He's got no expression. He's, you know what I mean? He's just sort of like, he's cool, and I love him dearly. He's the first Gremlins toy I ever had, but he's also just kind of
Love the
there.
jaw on him.
He's got a nice jaw, but NECA finally released a proper Mohawk. He's over here. Released a proper Mohawk this year. He came out last month.
He's fabulous.
He's beautiful, and he's mostly a retool of the mould used for Mohawk Spider Form that came out a few years ago, which is, according to Toy Fair, getting a re-release because the demand is so big for it.
It's enormous as
It
well.
is huge. It is the largest Gremlins figure ever made, not counting the puppets that you can buy, like your gorgeous Gizzy.
Who, although he is big, I can't fit my hand in him.
Because he's tiny. He's
Because he's a
Gizmo.
teeny Gizmo.
But yes, this
It's a
Ultimate Gremlin. Oh yes, they released a Mohawk and they released a Brain Gremlin as like a one-off. He's impossible to find. He's not very articulated, much like that Mohawk.
Yeah.
And the Gremlins line is discontinued pretty much at NECA because the sales aren't huge.
Because they keep refusing to release a Gremlins 3.
Well,
Make Gremlins 3!
don't make Gremlins 3. I want it, but don't make it, please. But like the third wave was going to be Greta.
Yeah.
A melting gremlin with the witch hat.
Yeah.
There was rumours they were going to release a standard green one. You know, the ones with the little the squished faces in number 2.
Oh, yeah.
They were going to release because that's the only sort of face mould they've not made a gremlin of.
Yeah.
From that film, they were going to release him and an alternate version of him with the tattoo needle and the Warner Brothers logo on his chest. You know, the one that's there with the tat on him.
Yeah.
They were going to do that, and then future plans were to eventually get around to doing the brain gremlin again.
What about the vegetable gremlin?
He was on the list as well at one point.
Oh.
But at least this way, we're getting Gremlins 1 Gremlins by NECA. It's still in the prototype stage. We don't know when it's coming out, if it's the end of this year or the start of next year. But he looks pretty. NECA said, okay, Twitter, what accessories do you want? And Twitter were like, oh, like the gun, and oh, like playing cards, and oh, like some wires to gingerbread man, and maybe like a bowl so you can have its legs sticking out if you want to, in the thing, the invention, and blah, blah, blah. And someone said, like, oh, an alternate stripe head. And NECA replied to them with, why not just wait for an ultimate stripe figure, maybe? And it's like, oh, shit! So, army builders beware. You're in for a reduction in cash.
You're in for a scare.
But yeah, I do want it. I do want at least one.
You do want it.
At least one.
I know you do.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby. Yes.
Should we get on to the
Let's actually talk about the main topic of today's episode.
dysentery?
Because I could talk about toys for the next 2 hours.
We could.
But I'm not going to.
Hi to those people who skip the time codes.
Hi!
Welcome.
Welcome
back.
Welcome Bjork.
They welcome me back.
Welcome Bjork.
Welcome.
After her long career hiatus.
After Bjork's hiatus, here she is.
Welcome back, Bjork.
To tell us cheers.
So it's been a
One night in Bangkok makes a hard man crumble.
Oh! So we've had a pretty busy week in terms of cinema releases because we had the Black Panther and then shortly after, like the day after on Valentine's Day, we got The Shape of Water. So we didn't touch on The Shape of Water last week because we were too busy going on about the Black Panther.
That's the can I just stop you there? That's Black Widow.
Yeah, but she's not had a movie yet.
Aye. This one, the Black Widow, yes, my favorite. Did you know her Venom is very deadly?
Answer in a postcard if you get that reference.
Did you know in the sequel album, Rob Zombie's character is meant to be the same character as Vincent Price is from the original.
Well, you really couldn't get any more different people, could you?
No. Which makes me think that if he ever gets around to doing a third album in that series, he should cast someone else. And we can just be like, okay, so the idea is that it's just different voices every time. Okay, fine. Because as it stands, it's like, yes, over here we have the... and mimes. It's like,
Who is this mysterious creature?
Was an insatiable love for the dead. Vincent Price. Hello. The Shape of Water.
The Shape
The
of
Shape
Water.
of Water.
What is The Shape of Water?
Hey, baby. The Shape of
Whatever
Water.
container it's in! Hey!
Thanks, everybody. That's Big Damn Cast. We're going to get into us during the week. Shape of Water is the darling of the Oscars already. It's the one with the...
Although it didn't do terribly well at the BAFTAs.
As true. But then
Guillermo
again...
del Toro did get Best Director.
But the BAFTAs, British Film Awards for the most part, Shape of Water came out last week, so unless a bunch of people got some screenings in well in advance and had a lot of time to think about it, I can kind of understand why it got snubbed a bit. But
they all get screeners.
But so did I know, but still, like, not as much time to think about it as say the films that have been out for a bit longer. But also, Paddington 2 got snubbed, and apparently that is the biggest crime.
I've not seen Paddington 2, but yeah, the first
Sally
one was-
Hawkins snubbed from all sides.
Oh, poor Sally Hawkins.
No, not poor Sally Hawkins. She's got a career-defining turn in this excellent movie.
She is so unbelievably good in this movie.
So what is The Shape of Water, Matt, for the peeps at home?
The Shape of Water.
It was a 2017 motion picture by Guillermo del Toro, written by Guillermo del Toro, based on a story by Guillermo del Toro.
And Vanessa
Directed
Taylor.
by Guillermo,
also.
and Vanessa Taylor.
Yes.
Directed by Guillermo del Toro. Shut out by Guillermo
From
del
the
Toro.
mind of Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro.
It
Everyone's
is
favourite Krampus.
1962.
Is it?
It's autumn in Baltimore, Eliza Esposito is a mute cleaning lady at a government facility, like a science facility. And one night, they bring in a strange creature into one of the labs. And as she learns more about it and gets access to the lab, she begins to develop a connection with it and learn how to communicate with it, and they become close, and eventually she decides that she can't let it stay in this facility, that she has to do something because her and her friends are all, sort of broken, lonely people, and they should help out the others. So she has to convince her friends to help her, to convince her friends that this creature is a person and deserves their help. And yeah, she basically falls in love with the fish man.
Yeah.
It's the creature from the Black Lagoon meets Splash.
Yeah! Ooh! I mean...
Meets...
but also, yeah.
Any number of romance. It's a romance.
Yeah.
It's a romance
like
film.
Crimson Peak was not a horror film. It was a gothic romance. This is not...
It is a ghost story. It's not a horror film.
This is not a horror film. It's a romance.
It's a creature feature. It's not a horror film.
Yeah. Oh, great description. It's a creature feature.
It is a creature feature.
Yeah.
Because it comes... It comes from the... Guillermo del Toro first got the very early seeds of inspiration for this when he was 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And he watched The Creature from the Black Lagoon, and he was disappointed when the lead woman in that didn't fall in love with the creature, and they didn't have a relationship. So he's made up for that!
Yeah. He's bided his time, and he's finally got around to telling the version he wants.
This is just a beautiful... It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is
beautiful
gorgeous. And emotional and powerful, and...
It's odd and kind of
so strange.
Kind of dumb, but it's eloquent.
It's the most Guillermo del Toro film that Guillermo del Toro has ever made.
That is what I was thinking.
It is everything about him as a filmmaker and as a writer and as a person. For when you hear him speak in interviews, it's so eclectic and pulls together so many influences.
Yeah,
but has this such this strong visual aesthetic. So despite it pulling from all these different inspirations, it's so strong and so focused at delivering this world, this fairy tale world. Because it is a fairy tale in the same way that Pan's Labyrinth is a fairy tale. It's a dark fairy tale.
Yeah.
But it is that nonetheless. Even down to the opening narration, Richard Jenkins, who again is also brilliant in this movie. Yeah. Richard Jenkins, who plays Eliza's neighbour, who is a gay man in the 60s. Not a good thing to be in the 60s. He's been sort of let go from his job at an advertising company, and he's trying to break even as an artist, and he's lonely, and he's feels isolated, but he's very close with Eliza. But there's this opening narration from him above the way the film opens with the gorgeous shot of the apartment building, and everything's underwater, and he just this slow pan into the hallway of Eliza's apartment and into Eliza's apartment, and everything's floating, and he's talking about it, and it's got
you have no idea what's happening at the time. It's there to make you feel something. But it's there to sort of set a tone, and my God, does it do it?
It's this fairy tale narration from him, sort of setting that you'll have heard a bit of in the trailers, and he describes Eliza as the princess without voice, and it's just, this is a fairy tale. This is a fairy tale, guys. This is what you're watching, and it just has that thing where it flips from being, almost too real in the way that it hits you with things like the way that Giles, who's the Richard Jenkins character, feels about his sexuality and the way he's treated and the way Eliza's treated by people around her because she can't speak. And that feels very real to the times when it's there. It just goes and it opens with a dream sequence and the flights of fantasy within that, and then you get the fantastical element of the creature appearing for the first time,
and it's not done. It's not done in a way that is there to frighten or it's never given a moment of. And here it is.
Yeah,
it's just there. Like when you first meet it, it's sort of a tiny moment of horror, but you don't see it. You see
it's shocking.
You see its hand, and you're like, "What the hell's going on?"
It's shocking
because you came into a movie called The Shape of Water, and you knew what was going to be in the movie.
Yeah,
the creature is introduced in exactly the way she is introduced to it.
Yeah.
So there's no it's hello, hi, can we can I get a look at you? It's that kind of just sort of feeling, and it feels very light, and the music as well. The music is very lilting. isn't it? It's sort of it's just pleasant. The music feels like it's out of the first act of a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, we're setting up the story.
And in a way,
but the whole film's kind of like that. It's just this light...
It does feel like a dark Pixar movie. In live action, it's just... It is...
And not just because the creature effects are absolutely phenomenal.
Well, it's getting Doug Jones in an incredible makeup appliance.
Yeah.
Just...
And a beautiful performance. Like, I mean, this is
It's incredible.
We were joking before, like, about how close the comparison is to places to Hellboy, because Doug Jones played Abe Sapien.
Yeah.
In those movies, and Abe Sapien eats rotten eggs. So
and he's a fish man.
He's a fish man. He's gotten used to, as an actor, swimming around in a prosthetic costume and still looking quite elegant in the way he does it. So it's like, okay, so Guillermo's got a bit of a thing for this. It's like, no. If you want to talk about somebody who's got a bit of a thing for it, let's talk about Eliza. The movie does not shy away from how odd this is.
No.
I don't think we go into spoilers at all while we talk about this. So don't worry about that. I don't think things we can talk about will spoil it. More give a flavour. So if you really don't want to know anything about it, skip to emails now.
We've said all we need to say. This movie is amazing. It is. I sat there and I watched it, and I was just, I was in awe of it, of the majesty of it. It's just someone made this film for me.
Matt really likes fish romance.
I like fish romance.
Can you not tell from the fact that he referenced Splash earlier?
It's just. Oh God!
I bet he even likes Splash 2.
Is there a Splash 2?
There was a Splash 2.
Fuck me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They don't shy away from the fact that the romance in all of its forms for these characters is odd and kind of, you know, frightening to think about in a way.
And they don't shy away from the romance, because this is make no mistake, this is a horny movie.
Yeah.
Like,
and you're going to be sat there going, what? But then as the more of it happens, the more you're like, no, I'm completely invested in what these characters are feeling, and I want them to be together. Because we were saying, again, in the car before chatting about it, there's a wonderful scene where where Eliza's explaining to Giles, like, why she's like forcing him to look at her. Like, because he's trying to get out the door to get to a meeting, and she's like, no, just listen.
Because she has to, because she's signing everything.
He has to look a complete, and she basically like, repeat back to me what I'm saying.
Sally Hawkins spends this whole movie signing,
yeah,
and not saying anything. It's incredible.
But in that one scene, she sums up why, just why, and you're like, yeah, my God, I get it. Let's talk about the other cast. Who plays her friend at work?
Octavia Spencer plays Zelda.
She's brilliant.
She's up for Best Supporting Actress.
For this film?
Yeah. Richard Jenkins is up for Best Supporting Actor.
Yes.
Sally Hawkins is up for Best Actress.
Yes.
Doug Jones is not up for Best Actor.
Oh. What about Shannon?
Shannon's not up for anything either.
Oh. What about
Stuhlbarg? Michael Stuhlbarg.
Yes.
Who is, he's also not up
He's
for it.
excellent in it. But yeah, that's a shame that Doug Jones isn't up for it. Simply because, again, it's an amazing performance, but at the same time, if you're having to narrow down who sort of juggles the most, I can kind of see in terms of the dialogue, but it would be nice for a performance that is mostly done through physicality to be acknowledged.
Well, especially considering that Sally Hawkins has been acknowledged for a lifetime.
Yeah.
That being said, though, sign language and speech are essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not a silent performance. It's just a non-verbal performance.
Yes.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, but I mean, Doug Jones is arguably is that too, but maybe the Academy considers it like his performance is a marriage of the special effects and his physicality. But even so, this is not a man in a suit. This is a character.
Oh yeah. In the same way, he's also killing it on Star Trek Discovery. In the same way. So
yeah, he's very good.
Do not doubt Doug Jones.
Never doubt the Jones.
Guy's fucking great.
He's brilliant. He's in a lot of terrible movies, but he is excellent.
Oh yeah.
He was the Bye-Bye Man.
Well...
But he's also Abe Sapien, god damn it. So, yeah.
He is.
Pan's Labyrinth, he was the
fawn.
The fawn, yeah.
And the Pale Man.
Yep.
He's in all sorts of shit.
He's an amazing performer. So, acting's phenomenal all round. I'm going to give a special shout-out as well to Michael Shannon.
Oh, Michael Shannon just being the most Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon being Gaston, in a way. not in the exact same character, but in terms of his role in the story, it's like, who really is the monster here? And the way he's lit, the way he's made up, the choices his character makes, his behaviour. As the film goes on, you're like, oh my god, you're not a nice man!
He's that kind of forceful, toxic, hyper-masculine, sort of rigid,
incredibly
figure.
Insecure.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like everything.
He's the head of security who was in charge of bringing this creature to its original facility, moving it to this one, and is basically meant to stay there until whatever happens to it happens. And he has a hatred for it, probably because he's just trying to prove how in charge he is of everything. At the same time, he's sort of trying to manage his life into a more positive outlook. Like he doesn't feel he's positive enough, and it's all about confidence. So, like at one point, there's an entire sequence in the movie that is irrelevant to the plot. It's just for his character.
Oh yeah,
where he goes out and buys a new car, and then drives it, and you're
it's
just like, okay, right, and it's all for just a little bit of payoff later that is all about watching his behaviour and how he reacts to things. And he's a religious man, but he's a sexual scumbag. There's Lucy was saying when we were watching the film, she said after the film, she was like, I was really worried what they were going to do with him was have him like try and sexually assault someone at one point. I'm glad they didn't, but they still made a point of being like, this guy's just like one bad decision away from raping someone. Like he's that insecure that he's like he would be insulted that someone wouldn't find him sexually attractive.
Everything that he does is compensation for his insecurity.
Yeah,
everything that he does.
Yeah, and then he's put in an incredibly difficult position by his superiors, and it's like the better man, like the nicer man would just admit defeat and tell them, I'm sorry, no, this can't be done. But he's like, no, he has to prove himself. And he doesn't care who gets hurt. He doesn't care how he intimidates people, how he damages people's lives. He doesn't care.
He does not fail.
Yeah. Oh god, he's frightening in this.
Yeah, and Michael Shannon
but also
guy.
Really pathetic, and it's like it's that volatile kind of performance. It's really good. Who was it?
Michael Stuhlbarg, who's the scientist.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
Michael Stuhlbarg is brilliant in everything he's in.
But he's
one of those actors
lovely
who turns up in so much stuff.
Yeah.
And like Richard Jenkins, in fact.
Yeah.
Every time you see him, you go, all right, we're good, we're in safe hands.
Yeah.
At least as long as he's on screen, we're fine.
We're going to have a good time.
Because he's brilliant.
Or at least be invested in what's going on. Yeah, his story's excellent. And just look at the movie. I like the way the movie doesn't make a thing of the facility at all. It's not a thing.
No.
Like, she shows up, she clocks in, she goes to work, and we're just watching Eliza and Zelda like cleaning a jet engine in the middle of a giant lab, and there's all these secret things, and people walking around in suits, and you know, very hush-hush talks, and like all these computer banks, and it's just the film's just like, yeah, they work in a top secret facility that experiments with weird shit. What of it?
But also, it's emblematic of the way they're sort of ignored as the cleaners.
Yeah,
and the way they sort of brushed to the side as and I think nearly all the cleaning staff and like non-scientific staff in that institute are all minorities of a different kind.
Yeah.
Of whatever kind.
Why am I asking the shit wipers and the piss cleaners?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh god.
It's just so and it is.
Guillermo as a film fan gets to show off his film fan chops as well.
Oh yeah.
In terms of old cinema, especially like
Eliza and Giles live above an old cinema.
Yeah.
Giles is always watching like
musicals
on TV.
Just like that element there, there's the little moments of dance. There's one very big homage to like sort of the romantic song pieces of old, and it's pretty damn good.
It's rendered me speechless.
I know you love your Guillermo.
Oh yeah.
What? Forgetting Shape of Water for a moment. Yeah. What prior to this would you say was like your favourite? Like what Guillermo del Toro movies had you seen, and what would you say was your favourite of them, and why before then?
My favourite of them is probably Pan's Labyrinth.
It is pretty damn great. I've not watched that for a few years.
Closely followed by Crimson Peak for a lot of the same reasons as Shape of Water. It's a very beautiful film, pulls in lots of different inspirations and makes it all coherent.
And the visuals again, just
visually.
And again, like creature
gorgeous.
performance from Javier Baudet, whatever his name is, like the actor who plays all the ghosts in it. Like he's
it's not heavy about him because that's
not Javier Baudet. It's like
Javier
Baudet or something like that. I've probably got that wrong, but he's amazing. He's again like Doug Jones, an actor who, because like in his case, because of his proportions, Doug Jones is very tall, and this guy is very tall. He's like 7'5", something like that. So he gets to play lots of eerie creature roles and things like that, like the body standing for Mama and
Javier Baudet.
Javier Baudet, there it is.
But Doug Jones also does play at least one of the ghosts in that as well.
Yeah, but like it's that whole thing of Guillermo's able to utilize characters and things like that and make them frightening, but also really engaging and compelling to watch.
He's a really good director in the sense that he knows how to construct visual spectacle, but he also knows how to bring out character. The smallest things, like the way the film opens on Eliza's daily routine, tells you everything you need to know about that character.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
In what, 3 minutes, 2 minutes?
Yeah,
less than that.
Maybe slightly longer if you count the dream sequence.
I know, but from when she wakes up,
yeah,
to when you see her go to work,
and the fact that the fact that we then see that exact same routine the next day, and you get the idea that she sort of, like. The clockwork of her day, but she's not run down by it. Like she's not like, yay, my life is great, but she's not like, I hate my life. She's in this happy middle ground, and she has her way of life, and she likes it.
There's a great,
but you realise as the film goes on, it's because she's found that happy medium after years of really feeling like she doesn't have a choice to be happy or not, and to be liked. And it's wonderful work.
There's a great description here. Guillermo del Toro said about Sally Hawkins, not only was she the first choice for Eliza, she was the only choice.
Hey.
I wrote the movie for Sally, I wrote the movie for Michael Shannon. Sally, I wanted the character of Eliza to be beautiful in her own way, not in a way that's like a perfume commercial kind of way, that you could believe this character, this woman would be sitting next to you on the bus, but at the same time she would have a luminosity, a beauty, almost magical, ethereal. And she is, in that way, sort of, she just sort of, she's a beacon to the others around her, and the way that she brings people together through this film, and the way what she inspires in other people. And Sally Hawkins doing all that with her face and sign, but being able to inflect
and her tapping,
but even being able to the way she inflects the sign language in the same way that you would when you're speaking, you would inflect your speech.
Yeah,
particularly like you say, it just again to come back to that scene with Giles where she's explaining to him why she has to save the amphibian man as he's credited.
Yeah.
They never really give him. They don't give him a name.
No, doesn't need one.
They just call him him or it, depending on how dehumanizing they want to be towards him. It's just,
or that thing you shouldn't let near a cat.
She's just incredible in this.
Yeah, and again, like even in the scenes where she's not signing, it's the physical performance, the more intimate stuff. She's saying everything you need to know through the way she's looking, the way she looks at him, and you know which scene I'm talking about specifically. The towel.
Oh,
yeah, it's gorgeous, and again, fairy tale, but with that weird little wraparound of here is a real world that we know happened and know about, and
there'd be so much if this was
made
by
I do love when modern fairy tales go, we're going to set this in the recent past.
Yeah.
So there's still that fantastical element, but we can play with it. I think Tim Burton was a big reason why that sort of happened.
Yeah, I think he's kind of
original Tim Burton.
Yeah,
like the films feel like they exist in a real world, but a stylized version of a not too long ago past.
Like Guillermo del Toro very, very much makes real world adjacent films.
Yes, yeah. I'm trying to think what my
real world films that are just like a step to the right of Guillermo del Toro.
I'm trying to think what my favorite
of the real world.
I'm trying to think which Guillermo del Toro movies I've seen. Blade 2, Hellboy.
Blade 2 is fucking great as well, isn't it?
Blade 2 is pretty great.
Mimic.
I've still not seen Mimic. But,
Mimic's great.
Is that the one with Adrian Brody?
No, you're thinking of Splice.
I'm thinking of Splice.
Mimic is like late 90s horror
about
cockroaches who camouflage themselves as people.
Oh my
living
god!
in like the sewers of.
Is that
a city.
that's
It's
some of this?
great.
I've just realised as well. Guillermo's trajectory has basically been making sort of weird, strange, mainstreamy, superhero-y kind of things, and then in the last like 10 years, he's been able to go. And now I'm going to tell the stories I'd really like to tell, but you can still feel his influences, and yet his mainstreamy, schlocky horror superhero stuff doesn't feel by the numbers, but in any way. I think Hellboy's the weak link out of the ones I've seen. Weirdly,
Yeah, I really like
I think
Hellboy,
it rushes along and doesn't let the characters develop. Like you don't really get to know Red, but all of a sudden there's a scene where him and a kid are on a rooftop complaining about someone being on a date. And it's just, do you know what I mean? It's just like, what is this?
I've not seen a lot of his earlier stuff, so I've not seen Kronos.
No. Let's have a look at the filmography.
But I've seen Mimic.
Yeah.
And I've not seen The Devil's Backbone.
God, he really made a lot of films in that period, didn't he?
Blade 2, I've seen. Hellboy, I've seen.
Pan's Labyrinth, I love. Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, I really
like that.
And do you know what it is? The scene that did it for me, that made me go, I prefer this to the other one.
Mm.
It's the what's it? The Fairytale, like the market.
The troll market.
The troll market.
Yeah.
Just, oh my god, like a scene that other films have tried to kind of emulate and just can't do it.
And it's
Doctor Who, Rings of Acca 10, feels like someone watched that and went, we'll kind of do that. And it just doesn't
The great
work.
thing about Hellboy 2 The Golden Army, not just as a film but as an adaptation, is that it hews further from the source material in terms of the story it's telling.
Yeah.
But in terms than the original Hellboy. But in the terms of the tone of it and the feel of it, it feels way more like the Hellboy comics, even though it's not pulling any plot stuff from that whatsoever.
It's definitely a child of its influences.
Yeah,
and
but it absolutely is a more faithful adaptation in terms of the feel of it as a film than the original Hellboy is.
Let's have a look.
Blade 2's Blade 2's great.
Blade 2 is great.
It's really good.
Best of the Blade movies.
Like Mimic is
best of the 2 Blade movies they made.
Mimic
the 2 Blade movies that were made.
Yeah.
Remember those 2 Blade movies? Blade and Blade 2. Blade and Blade 2 and nothing else.
Definitely watch Mimic.
Mm.
Definitely watch it. It's really good fun.
I'm trying to think which of those movies I've seen.
Del Toro's
Crimson Peak is amazing.
Del Toro has since disowned the film because he fell out over it with Bob Weinstein.
Okay.
Because which is the same. Bob Weinstein also killed off the Hellraiser franchise when he got pissy with the director of Hell, or Kevin Yeager, who did Hellraiser Bloodline, the fourth one. It was the last theatrical one, which basically that's an interesting story, and that might be something I explore in the future, because that is an interesting movie. But yeah, Mimic's really good. It's schlocky, like early, like late 90s B movie stuff.
Yeah.
Which is right up Guillermo's area, but it's what put him on the way to doing Blade 2, and then a Hellboy, and then Pan's Labyrinth is a masterpiece. Hellboy
that Simpsons open. This is directing credits. That Simpsons. That opening couch sequence with the Simpsons is actually brilliant. Pacific Rim. Oh, that is a lot of fun.
Pac Rim is great.
PT, of course.
He was working on PT.
Yeah, that is amazing. I've got that on 2 PlayStation.
Oh,
we could sell them and make at least £20.
I've not seen any of The Strain. Is
no.
The Strain any good?
I've not seen any of The Strain. I thought Don't Be Afraid the Dark was one of his, but no, he's producer on that. That feels like Guillermo del Toro light. Like it doesn't quite work for me, that one.
And Mama, I think, as well. He's producer on that as well.
Which is much better.
I've not seen.
Mama's not amazing, but it's one of those films where you're like, I didn't love this, but I love Jessica Chastain's performance. I love the look of the movie.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see where this goes. And where it went was It 2017.
Yeah,
so,
which was great.
Huzzah.
And then, he's the producer on Troll Hunters and the Strain, which is a TV series. Yeah. Troll Hunters is a kids' TV show, which looks great. And he's directed a couple of episodes of them, but I've not checked them out. Crimson Peak is just beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
But I think he's just on an upwards trajectory.
I want his Haunted Mansion movie, and I want it now.
I want his The Mountains of Madness movie.
Yeah.
And I want it yesterday.
Okay, you get that yesterday, and I get Haunted Mansion now.
I want it in 2012 when it should have been being made, but then Prometheus came out and was shit.
Yeah.
And also used a lot of similar plot elements to it, The Mountains of Madness, and sort of killed that.
Another thing to be angry with Ridley Scott at.
Dead!
I want his Haunted Mansion movie and I want it now. Like, have you ever seen his house tour? A couple of shows have gone into his house. His house is like, it's part Gothic Manor, part like wooden floor, part like apartment, like luxury apartment. And it's just full of memorabilia. It's like a mini museum.
It's your Tat Cave taken to the nth degree.
Yeah, but it's got some floor space in some of the rooms. Not all of the rooms. Have you seen that one where it's just full of classic monster movie monster stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's no room to move. It's beautiful. It's full of mannequins and masks and like cloaks and mannequins covered in costumes. But he's got an entire shrine to the Haunted Mansion. He loves the Haunted Mansion.
Would it surprise you?
And him and Ryan Gosling are still technically working on the movie. It's just not happening anytime soon.
Would it surprise you to learn that The Shape of Water
No, go on.
was originally pitched to Universal
Oh.
as a Creature from the Black Lagoon reboot, but they turned it down because they were working on Dark Universe?
So it's Edgar Wright's Ant-Man in a way. But what happened here was the person in charge went, all right, I'll take this away and I'll do what I want to do with it. I'm glad it went the way it went, put it that way. Imagine if it had ended up being part of the Dark Universe
Can you imagine if this movie started off the Dark Universe? Then you might be in for a treat.
Yeah, but then it'd all... Well, yeah, but would
they
tonally follow this one?
If you really want to get someone to launch a shared universe of monster movies, classic Universal monster movies, why the fuck didn't you go to Guillermo del Toro in the first place?
Because they're idiots.
If something is not in your archives, Universal, do you know where it is? It's in Guillermo del Toro's personal fucking collection! So you go to him!
Or just remake Monster Squad.
He's made a better Creature of the Black Lagoon movie than anyone else ever has!
Even more so than the original Creature from the Black Lagoon! Did you notice it wasn't framed to be like, look at this, but did you notice the obvious homage to a particular shot toward the end? The dogs?
Yeah.
It was just like, ooh, there it is. There's your one straightforward, like, that's a reference to Creature from the Black Lagoon. There it is.
Without going into spoilers.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the ending?
It was a fairy tale ending. So, yeah, I'm for it. It was odd.
I think it was
odd. And I do worry about two characters where their story will go from that point.
Yeah.
But considering the opening narration, I don't think it goes in a terrible direction.
No. And also, what I did like, again, without going into spoilers, what I do like about the ending is, yes, it is fairy tale, and yes, it is strange, but actually, it's very well foreshadowed throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
And there are moments when the ending comes along, you're going,
of course.
Oh, actually, all these different moments now make sense, and all these things about these characters and their habits actually make perfect sense. And yes, of course, this isn't. It doesn't come out of nowhere, even though it is odd.
Mm.
That's all I've got to say about The Shape of Water.
Rated 18 for pussy fingers and cheek holes.
It's rated 15.
It should be rated 18 for pussy fingers and cheek holes.
There is. Yeah, and pussy by as in oozing pus.
Yeah,
we're not being gross there.
No, well, we are.
Well, we are, but we're not being sexually gross.
What we're doing visually in the room without you seeing is our business.
Although this is a horny movie, but not gratuitously so.
No, it's not.
The way they deal with the nudity and the sex, it's all about character. It's not about titillation, and I think a lesser director than Guillermo del Toro would have definitely played on the titillation of seeing.
They would have been like, in this hot, and this is not about that.
Look at this character naked, isn't that hot? And that's what I really liked about it was that although there is nudity in it, it's purely functional. Like there's no
her style and grace. Nice. None of that shit.
Yeah, but to the point where
I think this creature understands that the belly button is not the place to place your penis.
It's just the way the Guillermo frames the shots to have as little nudity in it as possible.
Yes. Yeah.
And
not we're covering it up just in a.
Yeah.
This isn't the input. The nudity is not important. You need to look at. The connection is important.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's beautiful. It looks beautiful. It's beautifully performed. The dialogue is great in this. Like, the script is wonderful because it's very simple, and the film seems to just flow along based on how people are feeling. It's a film about emotions and a feeling of belonging, and what people do or what people will do just to feel whole and not, like you said before, broken or rejected or marginalised. Because like even Michael Shannon's character feels broken and underappreciated, but it's the lengths he will go to feel.
And it's about
whole.
the way that he deals with it.
Yeah,
which is...
and how, but when there are people around him in this movie, characters we're following who deal with much, much bigger prejudices.
Yeah.
And how they're dealing with it in a much more measured way, but how they're really feeling inside, and it's wonderful.
I cannot recommend The Shape of Water highly enough.
Yeah, and I hope it gets all the Oscars.
Yeah, it got Best Director at the BAFTAs.
Best animated feature.
Yes.
Best music video.
And a couple of
Best short film.
Well, before we move on, let's see what it's actually nominated for. Because
all the acting,
apart from Doug Jones, which is annoying.
Yeah.
It is.
That's my official response.
It's nominated for 13 Oscars.
Jesus wept. That's Lord of the Rings style numbers, isn't it?
The Return of the King was nominated for 114.
Just think, we were going to have a Guillermo del Toro Hobbit movie. Back when it was 2 films originally, it was going to be Peter Jackson directs the second part.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro directs the first part.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I
think he's still credited.
I think
as
they
like,
use his design work and script stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, he's credited as like an executive producer, but like in that marquee style of he wasn't a producer like throughout the project. It's all the work he did before the films began. It's like the same way Stan Lee's an executive producer. He's not there every day doing executive producer work, but he has obviously contributed. And it's like, yeah, we're gonna marquee name. There you go, Stan Lee.
It is nominated for
Best Picture,
Best Director, Best Picture,
yeah,
Best Leading Actress for Sally Hawkins, Best Supporting Actor for Richard Jenkins, Best Supporting Actress for Octavia Spencer, Best Original Score, Best Original Screenplay, Best Cinematography, Best Costume Design, Best Sound Editing, Best Sound Mixing, Best Film Editing, Best Production Design.
I mean, I want it to win all of those.
At the BAFTAs, it was nominated for pretty much all the same things, but it only won for... It won for Best Director.
Okay, good.
And then it also won for Best Original Score and Best Production Design.
I mean, either way, we've said it before, like, nominations are more important than the wins because...
It lost Best Film to Three Billboards.
It's acknowledgement.
What
I love about
people have seen Three Billboards and have really liked it.
What I've loved about
the
Three Billboards response is I've seen people passionately saying about, oh no, yeah, no, it's definitely the best. It's best picture, absolutely. And I'm like, I heard your review of it when we talked about it the other week, and I was like, it doesn't scream best picture to me. It screams good movie, really well made, but
it's great performances.
Yeah. I just want Shape of Water to win all the things for multiple reasons, but also just to be like a Guillermo del Toro movie about a lady falling in love with and fucking a fish is the best thing, and this award ceremony is acknowledging it. And on that, I know it's not as simple as that, and there's a lot more to it, but I just love the idea of it being like, what, the fish fucking movie?
Yeah.
They got all the awards!
Yes, the fish fucking movie.
Failing that, get out Best Picture.
All the jokes we've made, though, about it being the movie where Sally Hawkins fucks a fish, like, it is reductive to describe it as that. Yeah. It's funny.
We're doing it for the sake of generalizing comedy.
Yeah, and you know it's a funny thing to say, but also this is a gorgeous movie, and it's a more believable and affecting romance than you will find in 90% of other romantic movies. Like, it's a more romantic movie than any of the 50 Shades movies. That's for fucking sure.
Did you watch Jenny Nicholson's breakdown? Of 50 Shades Freed?
No.
Give yourself 25 minutes. I think it's called She Burns 50 Shades Freed in 25 minutes.
I'll
like
give it a watch tonight
hilarious.
While I'm playing some Warframe.
Oh, how romantic.
You need to get on Warframe, Cocker.
I need to get on loads of things.
I need someone to play with.
And then we can put Warframe on.
Yeah.
Speaking of filth, you guys have been emailing in!
Luke!
Hi, Luke!
Hello, Luke! Yes, Luke, I did skip a bit of your email last time, purely for time.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it a little more concise, even though I think we still was a 2-hour episode.
However, it is worth talking about because congratulations, you went to the House of Commons last week to attend the finalist event for a film, The House competition.
Oh, pretty cool.
So it was a film competition that he entered. Had a great chat with Paramount.
Yeah.
Although I accidentally told him that he hates the look of the new Heathers show. unaware until he got back to the hotel and it was them. So yeah, we've all been there, mate. I was in the radio green room once talking about how a certain actor I'd heard stories that he was unpleasant to work with, and I'd worked with him myself and found him to be not particularly unpleasant, but a little standoffish. Only to find out that one of the younger actors in the room was dating his goddaughter or something.
Oh God!
I was like, oh well.
Well, I hope this doesn't. Well, I hope you take this criticism on board.
Not that I particularly care.
Pass it back up to him. Pass it up the chain. As Paramount, hopefully, will be like, that's a shame. This kid seemed really passionate about others. Maybe we should do a few things differently.
Luke says, I also spoke with the BBFC and Motion Picture Association, as well as exchanging Instagram usernames with the under-16 winner. That's what kids are doing nowadays. It's all on Instagram. That's where all the networking is. Forget LinkedIn. It's all on fucking Instagram.
I think LinkedIn forgot LinkedIn.
LinkedIn's the worst at it.
I use it just so I've got a version of a CV somewhere that I can refer to.
Overall, it was a great event, and those who have seen it enjoyed my film. Send a link to your film, Luke. Let's have a look at that.
Tweet it to Big Damn Cast and we'll spread it.
Yeah. Watch the producers yet, Matt? No.
No, he's been a very busy boy.
I haven't.
He's been playing Warframe.
I know that in a fortnight, for my birthday, happy birthday for a fortnight, or whenever it is relative to this, probably a week.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. For whenever it happens. Happy birthday to you.
I'm getting the complete box set of Angel. Is it good? Is it the Torchwood of Buffy? If I leave the email here, then it is hopefully short enough for you to read the whole damn thing on the show!
Yeah.
Yes.
Angel
is great.
Angel is amazing. If you've watched Buffy, then watch Angel. I wouldn't necessarily recommend Angel without Buffy.
No.
Not because it doesn't hold up on its own. It definitely does, but I think the experience is enriched a lot more.
You'll get more out of it.
Yeah.
And,
it's also, its first series is a lot bolder in terms of the violence.
Yeah.
And it was the first 18 I ever owned myself. It was Angel Season 1.
Oh shit, yeah, that first season had some pretty dark stuff.
Series 4 gets a bit bollocks, and some of Series 3 in terms of the overall story arc, but by that point the cast has expanded to a lot of lovely characters who you like spending time with. So that's fine. But Series 1, I think, still weirdly, Series 1's my favourite.
I think Season 5 is really strong.
You have Season 5 Season 5 is amazing because it's like, Buffy's ended, we've got a suspicion we might be ending, balls to the wall, let's try everything we've never dared do before.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately they found out as the series was coming to a close production-wise that, they weren't going to get another one. So, spoiler alert, it doesn't have a definitive ending, but it kind of does. Thematically, it has a definitive ending.
Similar to Buffy, if you want to carry on the story after the show, there are comics, which are considered canonical, but I'm not really...
They're fun. I've got 8 volumes of Buffy Season 8, and it's very fun.
Because for a while, the Angel rights and the Buffy rights were with different publishers.
Yeah. I think they've resolved that now.
I think it's all with Dark Horse now.
Yeah.
But for a while, Dark Horse had Buffy, and I think...
Yeah, I think that's Dark Horse produced those.
Yeah, I think IDW had Angel for a bit.
Yes.
So yeah.
And the only thing keeping continuity in place was the fact that Joss Whedon would sort of oversee both the comic series for a while. I think he writes the first couple of volumes of the first 8 issues of Buffy season.
I don't know.
The villain in that first section is a character called Twilight as well, which was wonderfully meta for when the comic was published.
Joss.
Yeah, the comic's great. But yeah, Angel's fantastic. Series 5 is really fun. Series 1's great. It's got a main cast of pretty much just 4 characters over the course of 22 episodes in Series 1. And you get to care about them a lot. Things to look out for. Oh, God. Not to spoil it too much, but it kind of is a spoiler. Spike's inclusion in Series 5 is a freaking joy to the cast. Like, it's just a wonderful addition. Doyle in Series 1 is wonderful. Cordelia gets to expand beyond the... Because in Series 3 of Buffy, we got to really know Cordelia, because she put her defences down and became a part of the main cast. Over the course of Angel, she develops wonderfully as a character, and Charisma Carpenter is excellent. David Boreanaz is a really fun lead, because he's just so stoic and kind of boring on purpose.
Yeah.
Which sounds weird as a compliment, but watch it and you'll see what I mean.
He gets to do more as the series goes on, and it's exciting to see.
And if you watch Buffy, you know a show about Angel is going to have Angelus in it at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Faith is a recurring cast member. She's a great addition. Just Fred and Gunn and Wesley. Like, it's a lot of fun. Smile Time is a big highlight.
Smile Time is probably my favourite episode of the entire
so
show.
freaking sinister. It's so freaking sinister.
Yeah.
Just tuck into Angel, man. I hope you enjoy it. And
Tuck right in.
as
You're
far
in
as
for a
it,
treat.
as far as it being the Torchwood to Buffy,
No, because it's good.
hey, I enjoyed Torchwood.
By the time Angel and Buffy end, I preferred Angel to Buffy.
I think Angel is adult television that, unlike Torchwood, wasn't also thinking, this is adult television, but just in case, we'll make it a little...
We'll put some swears in and put some sex in.
Yeah, no,
That second episode of Torchwood, which is literally all about sex.
But it's the second episode of Angel.
Fucking hell.
It's the second episode of Angel.
Yeah, but Angel does it better, that's what I mean.
The second episode of Angel is about a demon that transfers during copulation.
Because it doesn't actually have someone fucking in a bathroom in a nightclub.
And exploding into things. Wasn't that written by Chris Chibnall?
I'm not sure.
I think it might have been.
Oh.
I think it might have been.
Oh, let's have a
Oh
look.
God, I think
Let's
it might
have
have
a
been Torchwood episode 2. It might be a Russell script, but I think Russell
I suspect it's
was
a
the
Rusty
lead
script.
writer. I think Rusty was the lead writer for episode 1, and then it was like a tone setting for episode 2. But I've got a feeling. No, Chibnall was Cyberwoman.
Yeah, no, Chibnall did Cyberwoman.
Yeah, who did the second one? Was it all Rusty? Was it all Rusty D?
It might have been Rusty D. I can't find the episodes.
I love him, but it's not the best.
Day one is Rusty D and Chris Chibnall.
There we go.
Created by Rusty Davis, written by Chris Chibnall.
There we go. Oh, so it was a Chris Chibnall script.
Yeah, Chris Chibbers.
No. Is it the H Bomber guy? But just like it's gonna be good. It is. Oh God!
Cyberwoman.
Angel's fun.
This next one comes in from Tom Monty.
Tom Monty.
He's
He's the man with fingers that he uses to type.
I have no idea what your fingers are like.
Unless he doesn't have hands.
In which case he
uses his feet.
Maybe
or his nose.
Maybe a speech to text.
Or maybe
engine.
a speech to text. That's pretty good with punctuation.
Dear.
Oh, it failed this
Christoph
time. It's just
and
the word
Mark.
dear. Oh no, there's more to it.
Finally got round to watching Pixar's Coco this week, and I really liked it. I remember you had a section on one of your recent podcasts about it, but had to skip it in case of spoilers.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches. Yeah, it's wonderful.
I physically teared up during the process of viewing the film, and not many films can make me do that, so props to it for that! The only minor problem I had for the story was spoilers for the viewers who haven't viewed! You have been warned. Spoilers for Coco. The fact that Ernesto turned out to be the big villain at the end. As much as it worked well with the story that was being told, this was too predictable for me at least. And it's been done before many a time, especially by Pixar, where the inspirational, seemingly nice good guy character turns out to be an ass. E.g. Up. I just feel that they could have been more creative. Other than that, I loved it.
I think for me, what I enjoyed the most about it was just the performances and the tone and the music and the style. Like, I agree, there are some tried and tested Pixar-esque tropes in there
absolutely.
that are a little recycled. But
I think the more important revelation though isn't that Ernesto is a bad guy, but that he's not Miguel's grandfather. Great-grandfather.
Yeah, that's more the reveal.
But yeah, no, absolutely. I can see where you're coming from with that. Didn't bother me, personally. Tropes are not bad.
No.
But,
trope is not a dirty word.
No. But it's...
They can be lazy, but it's not dirty.
Yeah. I don't think...
Be lazy, but not dirty. Be lazy, but not dirty. That soundtrack's been on repeat in the house.
It's very good.
Well, it's because Lucy's been repeating it, but there's a different soundtrack on repeat in the house at the minute.
Yeah.
It's behind me on the desk over there.
Yeah,
little,
I can see it.
Yeah, it's freaking beautiful.
It's the Black Album, but not the one you think.
Look it up. Don't think that was a racial thing.
No.
But also, anyway, it's freaking great. Yeah, I enjoy Coco. I'm glad you enjoyed it, even though you found you had some problems with it. So that's awesome. That's cool.
It's perfectly, as I'm sure we've
flawed
mentioned,
things can be beautiful.
It's perfectly fine to like something and then acknowledge the faults with it. Like, there's plenty of shit that I like that is much worse than I have any right to be enthusiastic about. Like, some of the shit that I really like, I don't know, Transformers the movie. Or fucking the original Transformers animated series, which is
fair enough.
not great, but I just love it. What else? Like,
look at my
all
DVD
sorts
shelf,
of
like
shit
immediately in
that I
front of
love.
my eyes, like Hostel and Hostel Part 2. I know they're dreadful.
Oh,
I still
man.
kind of enjoy them.
Yeah, kind of dreadful. Tremors.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's
It's kind of pants.
yeah,
but I really like it.
I sort of see where you're coming from.
Yeah, you know, how many terrible horror movies do we like between us that are a bit pants?
I mean,
so-
I own the first 4 Paranormal Activities, so that says quite a bit.
Yeah, but I mean,
Really.
if you get to the end of Coco and all you really have to complain about is that, then I think it's done pretty well. So yeah, good times. On the topic of Pixar, I'm assuming you've both seen the new Incredibles 2 trailer.
Yeah, it's odd.
I've seen quite a bit of criticism around it, and I have to agree that I'm regrettably sceptical about it after watching it. Only because it's probably my greatest, most greatly, Jesus Christ, I can't read today, anticipated sequel of all time! What did you think of it, and do you think it will live up to the original?
I get the criticisms for the trailer, and I think it's because the most interesting plot point of the movie, really, is who are these people who are hiring superheroes, and what's Elastigirl's side of this story? Like, what's she up to? What are these missions she's going on? Like, what's all that? The new trailer sort of focuses too much on the, again, tried, tested, and sort of done formula of the dad's finding it hard to be a parent. Juggling kids is hard, and it's like,
But
yes, there's going to be. We know it's Pixar. We know there's going to be emotional weight to that. We know there's going to be really good comedy from that. But as the trailer, like the first trailer with chunks of footage in properly, it's sort of like, really? This is what you're giving us? Like, show us Elastigirl doing some really cool stuff. Like, that's what we
show
want to see.
me Elastigirl!
Show us more of Bob Odenkirk's character. Like, we introduced him in this trailer, but then they move on really quickly. It's like, I want to see more of that. So I get it. I'm a little...
Bob Odenkirk isn't real.
I'm a little... Bob Odenkirk is a dream. Made flesh. I get it. I get people's problem with the trailer, and it has actually made me feel a bit more like, oh, okay, all right then. Yeah. But I'm still eager. I did my waiting, 14 years of it. So I wasn't at a point where I was like, I can't wait for this. I was just like, oh, I'm glad they finally got around to realizing The Incredibles is one that should be sequelized.
Yeah. For someone who's really into the original Incredibles, I'm surprisingly
nonchalant.
just like...
Or is the French Shay? Or is the French Shay? Les nonchalants!
Les nonchalants!
Baby, don't hurt me!
Monsieur Incroyable!
Hello!
Bon voyage!
Oh, God. That's the stuff I want to see more. And I'm actually upset, weirdly, not upset's an exaggeration, but I'm actually upset in this trailer by the sight of a scene with the Underminer. Because I'm like, no, that was a fun gag at the end of the last one. It was a fun gag. Like the other weird supervillains we saw in the last one. It was just a fun, like, reference to the influences of the movie.
I think they said it's going to pick up, like, directly...
Oh, in the trailer there's like a line system like, you never thought you'd see me again, or something like that. I was like, it's like... But I suppose they've got to get the John Ratzenberg cameo in somewhere, so there he is again. But it's like, it's the first time.
But Underminer. It's pretty great.
They did a whole game based around him.
Yeah, The Rise of the Underminer.
That was the sequel. That was the direct sequel.
I wonder if it's canon. Probably not.
But like I just want to see stuff like Bon Voyage and the Underminer. I want to see Elastigirl fighting shite supervillains. You know what I mean? And I also weirdly, I think Bob Odenkirk's character is the villain from something I've read, but I don't want it to be the head of the corporation's actually the villain. Cause it's like, look at Disney telling us that corporations are evil.
What?
Love you, Mickey, but still, yeah.
Praise the Mouse God.
Offer
Praise
tribute.
the Mouse God.
Offer tribute. How about a 214 million opening weekend for Black Panther? Does that sound like a good tribute? Still counting. They're still counting what the taking was for the opening 4-day weekend. Christ. Yes. Let the cash flow through you. Let the cash flow through us all.
Let the cash flow
Oonga shaka, oonga, oonga, oonga
You're
shaka.
fucking kidding me.
Namaste to you all. If you want to get in touch during the week, please do at Big Damn Cast on Twitter. We're also the Big Damn
yes.
channel on the YouTube.
On the
And
YouTube.
Big Damn Contact at gmail.com.
Gmail?
Gmail.
What are we doing next week, Cocker?
I don't know what. I don't know if there is anything on the horizon, actually, in terms of specific topics.
Should we do a topic episode?
Maybe we shall. Keep an eye out on Twitter while we decide what it is, folks. Use your eyes. Use your thighs. Like Tom does
Magic
to type
thighs.
emails. He uses his thighs to type emails because he's got no arms or feet. That's canon now.
That's Big Damn Cannon.
Big damn. That's number one.
Hey!
Bye, everyone!
Oh, see you later.
Bye, Wakanda forever! Bye! 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 She fucks a fish. Bye! Bye!